Hurricane Melissa came ashore on the southwestern coast of Jamaica at 1 p.m. Eastern Time yesterday as a Category 5 storm. If its lowest pressure reading is confirmed, it will tie with the 1935 Labor Day storm as the strongest Atlantic hurricane landfall in the modern record. That pressure was 892 millibars based on this soon-to-be historic National Hurricane Center advisory. On a normal day, you'd have to climb 3,500 feet above sea level to find a pressure that low. Hurricane hunters flew many missions into the storm in the days before the landfall in Jamaica. This spectacular video was taken inside the eye Monday morning, soon after the storm reached Category 5 intensity. Here's data from the plane that captured the record-setting pressure on Tuesday. The blue line shows flight level wind speeds, which increased quickly as the plane approached the eye, reached a maximum in the eye wall, in this case about 165 knots or 190 miles per hour, then decreased when the plane flew into the eye. After 35 minutes inside, the plane flew back through the eye wall and wind speed rapidly increased again. The red line is the pressure, and though it's not continuous, you can see it bottom out in the eye, way down at the bottom of the scale. Now here's flight level temperature data. Notice that the temperature is noticeably higher during part of the flight. That's when the plane's in the eye. Hurricanes are what we call warm core storms. Their centers are relatively warm compared to the surroundings, a consequence of lots of subsiding air in the eye, because when air sinks, it warms. Here's the track flown by the plane that gathered this data. Now, typically, the hurricane hunters make multiple passes through the storm, but in this case, only one pass before turning around and returning to its base. That's because the plane encountered heavy turbulence while entering the eye and required inspection for possible damage before being allowed to fly another mission. I've never before seen a statement like this put out by the hurricane hunters. Now, Jamaica is about 1/10 the size of Pennsylvania. It's very mountainous. The highest peaks are above 7,000 feet north of the capital of Kingston on the eastern side of the island. Farther west, closer to where Melissa crossed the island, some rise above 3,000 feet, so topography greatly enhanced the impact of the torrential rains. Prior to Melissa, 5 major hurricanes in the modern record, that's Category 3 or higher, made landfall in Jamaica. 4 of those approached from the east, including the strongest Category 4 Gilbert in 1988 with maximum winds of 130 miles per hour, now dwarfed by Melissa's 185 mile per hour winds. Interestingly, the closest proxy to Melissa may have been a devastating colonial hurricane in October of 1780 that took a very similar track, making landfall less than 15 miles from where Melissa did. There will be an extensive post-analysis of all data gathered during Melissa, and so its place in history is preliminary for the moment. My guess is if there are adjustments, they will make the storm even stronger than the preliminary numbers suggest. We'll be back in a moment with more.